Coach, you're playing a New England team this week that is really struggling to score goals. They haven't put one in the opponent's net yet in 4 games. What are the challenges about playing a team that may be so desperate for anything good to be happening?
Yeah, it's a good team from my side, to be honest. When we analyzed the first 4 games, they played only 4 games now. They had chances to get more points, also to score in a lot of good moments, in a lot of good situations. So we have to be ready with our energy level, with our intensity. First of all, on the road, it's tough to play there. We had this experience last year in New England on turf. So we have to be ready for this game and not to think too much about the games before, and more focused to have these moments when it's kickoff on 2:30 on Saturday.
Thanks for that, Anthony. Coach, you mentioned the turf, and it is an issue, especially in New England. How do you prepare the team differently, knowing that the ball bounces differently or tactically?
Yeah, but we don't practice the whole week now on turf, so we use our training field on grass. That's our preparation, and for sure we can talk about that before the game, but I think then it's necessary in warm-up that we have a good warm-up to get a feeling for this field on turf. That's important, and then we have to do everything when it's kickoff and to play very clean and to read the situation very well, and this is what we have to do.
Go back to Anthony. Coach, last year around this time, Emil Forsberg went on international duty, got injured, and missed a significant amount of time. You have him now. We saw how important that was in the last game. How important is it to keep those designated players on the field for the club for as long as possible?
Yeah, for every club is important that you don't have so many injuries, and it's not only the DP players, and it's all the whole roster, all these players, and it's necessary, especially for this long season, to handle the load of all these guys, and that is, especially at the beginning of our season now, was a little bit difficult for us because we had some issues with some injuries. But now some players are coming back. It's not directly the option for the starting lineup, but it's good to see the guys on the bench, to have these options. And but Emil is very, very important for us. But on the other side, we have also to check and to handle his individual load as well.
Go back to Mark.
Coach, when you talk about players returning from national team duty and their health, Carlos, Dennis, everyone's good and ready to go?
Yeah, all the guys, they were today on our field in our team training session. Carlos was on the field. Dennis, he made a little bit individual program. It was modified training today for him, but no issues from the national team. And he's also be ready then for Saturday.
And we'll go back to Anthony. So now you're entering week 6 here, Coach. 2-2-1. How happy are you with how your team has started the season? How they've taken to some of the new tactics?
Yeah, it's not a new tactic. At the end, it's the same principles like we wanted to play also last season, and it's a similar style of play with our intensity. What is a little bit different, that's true, is the ball possession situation with higher numbers. But I was also satisfied last home game against Toronto. But on the other side, we analyzed as well situations what we have to improve. And but this is now it's okay start. Now we have 8 points after 5 games, but we don't want to look back. So our focus is now for the next opponent, for the next target. This is on Saturday against a good team in New England with their quality.
Go ahead, Mark.
I want to go back to the Toronto game for a minute.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if this question was asked of you.
Okay.
Emil Forsberg is getting ready to take the penalty.
Yeah.
And suddenly the goal music is played throughout the arena. It just lasts a second or two. It's not great timing. Obviously, Forsberg converts and we go. But I was curious of your thoughts of that moment.
Yeah, but that's life. Mistakes can happen, but it was not the best moment, to be honest. And when when I heard this music, it was also not for me a good feeling, and I was thinking, oh, hopefully we can hear this music. I don't know, 30 seconds later as well.
Right.
But yeah, mistakes can happen, and so. But he kept his concentration and his focus, and this was very important for us. And then he scored.
Thank you.
We'll go to Zoom to George. Sorry, George, you're on mute.
So, Coach, sorry about that. Briefly, they mentioned the turf before. Dealing with the injuries that you're dealing with and having the guys hurt, is there any part in the back of your mind that you might have to pull back with some guys who may be fatigued or anything like that going to play on this turf?
Yeah, could be. It is in our mind that we have to be careful. Not only the turf, also our load. Then national play with some national players the last 10 days. So everything is in our mind, and but the solution for our starting lineup will be at the end and on Saturday. But we have this in our mind, all these circumstances. Yeah.
Next, we go to Shane O'Brien.
Hey, Coach. Victor Bogac was on the bench last week. Is he in line for minutes this week after coming back from injury? And how important could he be for adding strength and depth up top?
Yeah, every training week is important for these players when they are coming back after injury, and now also 1 week more in his legs. Victor Bogac, it's important for us, and he will be ready for Saturday. I'm not sure if he's directly ready in the starting lineup, but could be then coming from the bench for sure with some minutes. Yeah.
Next, we go to Daniel Florenzi.
Good afternoon, Sandro. Hope you're doing well today. So far, Omar Valencia, though he did not see any time for Panama in the Nations League. Have you been happy with his first 2 matches and what he's done in training so far?
Yeah, I'm very happy. Not only for the first 2 matches in our season, also to see him in this progress in his development. And after the 6-week preseason, he made big steps. What I said at the beginning of the season, and now he's coming back. He came back yesterday from the national team. He didn't play, and this is then also what we have to take the decision for Saturday, which wingback on the side is playing. Today it was also not the highest load in our team training session. Tomorrow is then our pre-match training, and then we will see if he's ready, starting lineup, or then to sit on the bench.
Next, we go to Christian Ortiz.
Hi, good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon.
It appears that Cal Duncan is back training with the team. Just wanted to ask you if he would be available for this Saturday. And then also an update on Marcelo Morales, who was also seen in training. How many, perhaps, weeks are left before we see him in action? Thank you.
Yeah, with Kyle, it's great. It's great to see him back in our team training session with the guys and on the field in every exercises. And it was a little bit modified in some sessions in this week. And but he worked so hard the last 6.5 months with his injury. He was so hard with the whole medical department, and this was very professional, very serious. And sometimes when I came in at 7:15, he started his day individual at 6:45, 6:30. Very, very professional, and it's good now to see him every day on the field. And he's available, but at the end, after 6.5 months, this is then also, I'm not sure, to be honest, that's then good to have the first game on turf after this long-term injury. And this is what I said then, the question before, everything is in our mind, and we have to be careful then also with these situations. And Marcelo Morales, he made more individual program this week, and he was also now for long term out, and he had also some issues last season at the end of the season in his previous club. So we have to, I think it needs a little bit patience to see him then on the field, but it's good. Next week, next Tuesday, he starts the full team training session, and then hopefully then as quick as possible to see him then on match day on the field.
Everyone, we have time for 2 more questions with Coach. First, go to Gary.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon.
8 points after 5 games. Now you're going to game number 6. You had a lot of injuries going in there. You had a tough slog. How much of a relief it is that now some of these players are now coming back online, getting back into health status, and more importantly, how much of your pride that you have on the current team that was able to get these points doing a very rough thing without them.
Yeah, it's great. It's great how we handled all together these situations, especially at the beginning of the season, and then with all these injuries. But in all the games which we played, in all 5 games which we played, so it was from the performance side, from the quality side, was most of the time was very well. We had some phases in the game which was not so good, and but when I see the big picture in these 5 games. 8 points. It's the result from the points is okay. That's good. I would say it's okay. And but on the other side, this is our job then also with our analysts to analyze everything in all the phases, and we see very, very good things in our game, in our intensity, in our defense behavior when we press high. We have a lot of winning balls in the opponent's half. That's good. Sometimes when we don't have the highest pressure on the ball, then our back 3, back 5, the behavior could be then better sometimes in the moments. This is what we analyze, but it's good. And now we have to continue our way, our style of play, especially now the next month, April, 5 games, and this is then when we are, and this is my job to think about the long-term period. And when we are talking about the month May, could be 9 games, 8 games for sure. And for these months, we have to be ready. We need everyone in our roster, because then it's clear that we have then more rotation than in our starting lineup and also in our roster for the game.